And Brian, I see that Amir has arrived. He'll be first under new business. So it looks like we're good to go. We're just missing a few folks, and I guess we'll get here when they get here.
Okay, cool. All right, so it's 6:30. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Happy March, everybody. Can we do a roll call, please?
Sure. Okay. We are going to start with Commissioner Ramos.
Present.
Commissioner Maharaj. Commissioner Hobson Court.
Present.
Commissioner Foley.
Here.
Commissioner Dantali.
Here.
Commissioner Cancino. Commissioner Bowen. Commissioner Bond.
Here, present.
Commissioner Boldenweck.
Present.
Vice Chair Mardahay.
Here.
And Chair Campagna.
Here. Hello. Thank you. Okay, so number 3, agenda review. Today, we're going to go through the normal starting moves like approval of the minutes. We'll do a presentation of our awards and our finalists from our photography exhibit. We're going to go to unfinished business, talk about some new business in our Skyline mural project, do our subcommittee updates, and then go through our closing things like items from commission and things from staff. So for the approval of the minutes, can we approve the minutes for the meeting from February 17th? Any comments there? All right, not hearing anything. So moving on. We're going to go to citizen participation. We're going to do any comments on things that are not agendized, informational only comments from citizens.
I don't see any messages in our cultural arts email, and I don't believe we've received any voicemails. I do see some new names. So welcome to members of the public who've joined us tonight. If you have any comments to make on items not related to items on the agenda, you can go ahead and raise your hand or send a chat and make your comment. I haven't received anything. I do want to note, just for the record, I see Commissioner Cancino is here and Commissioner Maharaj. So I don't think they were counted in the roll call.
All right, thank you, Angela. I'm going to move us on to our next section, which is a presentation of the award finalists for Momentum Moving Forward, our virtual photography exhibit that happened in February.
I want to present all 4 of our finalists that were awarded for the exhibit. Their artwork is currently in the Municipal Services Building atrium window, as well as the virtual exhibit. And I'll introduce them one by one. At the same time, Angela will share photographs of images of their entries, their winning entries. And then if you would like to make our artists a brief statement about your art and or your experience, that would be lovely as well. But you're not obligated to. If you feel like just moving forward, that would be fine. So I will start with Jay Bergman, who won honorable mention for the work that you see here, Convergence, and the one that will follow, which is called Wave. Jay, did you want to say anything about your art?
Yes, first, thank you for the recognition, of course. But I've been studying black and white photography for a while here, and this is some of my experience. The Convergence image started out as a Queen Victoria agave in the Stanford cactus garden, and the movement of the created by the plant was very, very impressive to me, which is why I captured the image and then enhanced it in Lightroom. Wave looks like a rolling wave. It's actually the inner fibers of a canary palm frond that had been blown off in the wind. Once again, it's great motion that got my attention here. So thank you.
Thank you, Jay. So next we'll move on to Belinda Carr, who won honorable mention for her artwork, titled Just a Delay. Belinda, do you have any comment on your art?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. This is a photograph taken very early morning. It's actually in the Eugene airport. It's this was before the pandemic, but it was kind of a haunting piece. And since the airline industry is such a strong indicator of recovery, I thought about this immediately when I saw your theme. As I said in my artist statement, I know for sure that when I get back on an airplane and I get to go to Scotland, that I will have my momentum back. So I am viewing this time period as my title says, just a delay. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. Then we have Simon Juan, who won second place for his piece Stop, capitalized Stop, in Motion. Simon, do you have any words about your art?
Yeah, thank you for the recognition. This was a shot that I like to take during lunchtime, during my lunch break. I like to do street photography before COVID, of course, and that was much easier back then. I just happened upon an intersection or a crosswalk where there are multiple stop signs, but right in the middle of it was this guy, the skateboarder, right in motion. I just happened to capture him riding, jumping up in motion in the middle of multiple stop signs. So thank you for the recognition again.
That's great. Thank you, Simon. And then finally, Nadine Levan, who received third place for children riding towards school, and also first place for manzanita tree running in the forest. Nadine, do you have any comments?
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate it. So maybe I could start with the third place. This one in front of you right now. This was actually taken in Amsterdam a few months before COVID. And anybody who's been to Amsterdam knows that a lot of people bike, and these children were on their way to school, and it just seemed controlled chaos. That you can just see all the tires, the bikes, but in the father's finger just ready to stop at a moment's notice if he needs to. And it hit me that at that time, none of us knew that kids would not be moving on or riding to school, and we'd be stopped for a while. And this was sort of a wish, hope, and what is happening, the momentum of children going back to school. So that's what hit me with this one. And I don't know, do you have the other one with the manzanita? So I was, with my camera in the, county park in Woodside, and I saw this manzanita, and I do a lot of intentional camera movement as a technique. And it struck me, and again, this isn't photoshopped or anything, this was there. that by using intentional camera movement, it made it look like this manzanito literally was running through the forest. And for me, it gave a feel of momentum, movement, even in an ad, what should be a stationary element in an image looked like it was moving. So and again, I appreciate you selecting these two.
Thank you, Nadine. Thank you to all of you for attending and just gracing our art exhibit. We're sorry, we really tried to have it be a in-person live event, but with Omicron and the problems of Omicron, we were not able to have that vision happen, but we hope to have more. And we thank you very much for allowing us to have your art in our MSB atrium window for a month. And I invite any of the commissioners, if you have any comments for our artists.
I did want to say thank you very much for sharing your art with us, and congratulations. And it was really great to also hear a little bit more from your own words about your art. So thank you.
I would like to also thank our artists for their comments this evening. It really means a lot to all of us that you participate in these events and share your artwork with us. Your comments really mean a great deal to us, and what happened or how you felt at that moment really adds a lot to the artwork. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I also would like to thank the artists and their comments as well. I think it particularly struck me that all of these works were done pre-COVID. So to me, it's just a glimpse of the kind of life that we had and possibly lost forever. So it was like a time capsule that we now have something to look at. It's part of history that was captured so beautifully. So I am grateful personally. Thank you.
So to our artists, our visitors, you are welcome to stay and view the rest of this meeting or leave at any time that you choose. And I will be following up with an email with details on when you will be picking up your art sometime next week. Again, thank you very much. Back to the chair.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you to everyone that took place in the virtual exhibit and to our award winners. Your comments are so much appreciated. You know, we don't always get to hear about the art that is in the shows. So I know that I really appreciate it and just hearing the other side of things. Next on our agenda is unfinished business. There's nothing listed there, so I'm going to blow past it and pass it to Aaron O'Brien, our business manager, to talk about the Skyline College mural project.
Thanks. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chair Catania and Vice Chair Marta Hay and commissioners. So this item is our Skyline College Community Mural Project. As you may recall, last month at your February meeting, Commissioner Bond, who was the chair of our Urban Art Subcommittee, presented to you guys this amazing opportunity about the Skyline College mural and bringing it here free of cost to the city of South San Francisco. So tonight we actually have Professor Amir Esfahani on, and he'll be presenting in just a moment. But just as a reminder, how we got here, there's the Skyline mural class was working. There's this semester trying to work with a neighboring city. And when that fell through, we were presented with this opportunity. And so Professor Esfahani met with staff and the Urban Art Subcommittee and kind of gave us an idea of what the class would be looking for and some of their needs. So staff was able to pull together 3 sites as options. And ultimately, the class selected the Altaloma baseball field bathroom structure as their preference for this mural. So it is a quick turnaround. The class is hoping to get started in the next 2 weeks or so, and an ideal finish would be tentatively scheduled sometime in May. So we have Professor Amira Esfahani is going to present what his class have been working hard on and their design that they've come up with. And so after his presentation, of course, we invite commission to share any comments that you may have on it. So Amira, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you now.
Great, thank you so much, Erin. And just to let you know, if I knew you all before the city of Millbrae, we would have chosen you first. So you were by no means second choice. I want to thank you all for having me here again, and I would love to go over. We basically have, I mean, that structure has 4 sides, so we basically have 4 different murals that we came up with, with different complexities that I'd like to go over with you. And as I said before, these are mock-ups, so if there are any issues or anything like that, they can, we can make changes and things like that, but we would hope to be able to get approval and move on with these designs. So if we did make changes, I would like to take notes of them and kind of integrate them and not have to come back to the board. So do we have a presentation? Are we going to fire up the presentation to show slides, or do I do that? Do you want me? I can do it also.
And while you're pulling that up, I just want to remind the commission that if I understand correctly, this is at no cost to the city of South San Francisco.
That's correct. We have funding. We have funding through a grant at Skyline College to do this entire mural. So
yes, thank you.
Yeah, very exciting opportunity for you all, I'm sure. Okay, so we chose the restroom structure, which has 4 sides. We broke it into 3 sections. I have alumni. We have some alumni students helping on this. So we have different students with varying degrees of skill level working on different walls. So I'll start with the first wall, which is I call it the park side wall. It's like the one when you drive up to Alta Loma and you see it. And this is what we came up with right here. And I'm not sure if everyone saw the mind map that Michael did, but we worked very closely on all sides of this wall with that mind map. So this particular side of the mural, we wanted to do something that represented the park, but also represented things on that mind map. So most of our beginning painting students, they went off on orchids, Alone baskets, and then we had a couple of students who started researching the Alone, kind of like their mythology and the animals that are important to them, the native animals. So we had one student in particular, a very young student. She's actually only 15. She did a sketch of an animal and sent it to me, and it was just a sketch on black and white, and it actually really inspired me, and it made me think about another South City artist named Barry McGee. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. I actually have some work on my computer I can share with you if you'd like, but he does all these caricatures. He does many of his characters in black and white, and he's probably one of the most famous artists that ever came out of South San Francisco. So I used that as inspiration and kind of tied it in with the student drawing, and I proposed to the students, why don't we all do these black and white drawings that are inspired by Barry McGee and bring them back into the wall, but doing some kind of Alone mythological scene. So you'll see one of these is the sketch, the wolf that the student did. The other 2 are just photo representations. We had this really quick turnaround. So I'm working with the students on their animals right now. We've already started sketching them, and that's going to go through a whole mock-up phase. So what you're going to see like many animals like in this landscape. And if you look at the orchids also, you can see I kind of like Photoshop these. They're the same. Actually, there's only 2 sets of orchids, but I kind of Photoshop them to give you an idea. We'll probably have different, I mean, we're probably gonna have a few students working on these orchids. They're actually really difficult to paint, so it'll probably be students that they're gonna have to kind of prove to me that they can paint these orchids before they get down on the wall. But we're gonna have, it won't just be like 1 or 2 types of orchids. We're probably gonna have multiple orchids of different variation and possibly different colors going on this wall. The scene on the right here that kind of breaks away, it's actually from an Alone basket pattern. And this is one of the more simple patterns that I saw. And I want to let you know that I think we're going to use a basket pattern on this side, but again, I'd like some flexibility on this conceptually. I wanted to show you the concept, but I would like to tackle some more complex basket patterns on this side of the mural. So we've already had students working, we've like grabbed other baskets and we're kind of like using a more complex weave on this side than what is displayed here. But this kind of gives you the general idea, general concept of what's going on with this wall. Now, the reason why this one is more of a concept is because this one is the side that I'm going to be working with about 10 to 15 students on. So we didn't really have time to compile, sketch, do everything, put it in, and then make a complete mock-up. But again, we can do something very, very similar to this color-wise and conceptually. Orchids, patterns, animals. And I chose this Altaloma typeface. There might be a little variation on that, but I chose something that kind of mimicked and was organic, like the orchid, the kind of, the vegetable portions of the orchids that come off, the leaves, the vines, things like that. So, that's this mural right here. It's very much a representation of Alone and a mixture, a hybrid of that history of the orchids at Altaloma. So I'm going to keep going. Maybe at the end we can go back and to the first slide and kind of have questions. Does that sound good to you all? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So this one is a continuation. I don't know if you've seen this structure or not, but it's very, there's actually a fence kind of coming out of this structure and there's a lot of things on the wall. So for this structure, I wanted to keep it very simple. And I wanted to just do a simple color, simple pattern treatment. There's a pretty heavy texture on the wall also, so we don't want to get really detailed and complex on it. But this was a section of the wall. It's kind of restroom facing, and we have several students in there that wanted to represent like the LGBTQ and especially the trans, non-binary. There's a lot of issues around restrooms right now. So not to say that anyone's choosing a side or this or that, but they do want to, they want to present like some contemporary issue on this wall. And it's something that it's conceptually really cool. And it's also very simple to paint. So this is really just, and it's a basket pattern. They got this idea because they also found several poets and artists that were from the Alone culture that were of the LGBTQ community as well. So they wanted to kind of represent that on the wall as well. So this one's a little more simple. I should also say that we're thinking about taking some of these patterns and wrapping them around and mixing them with the other walls. So they'll kind of like weave in and out of each other. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This one's very, very different. And this one is probably going to get a color treatment in the back. It's not just going to be white. This is from that artist that I showed you, Ju Young Kyu. We call him Jay, the Korean American artist. But what's interesting is he is a real South City story. So he actually, I didn't know this, he actually went to Altaloma, and he, now he's a professional artist, and his whole artwork, it is a very South City story. Like, he's from Korea. He immigrated here at a very, very tender, influential age. And it was a hard transition, and through art, he was able to kind of make that transition. And he developed an art form that talks about that immigration story. It talks about things from the past when he was a kid in Korea living in the countryside. And then it moves on to his experience here when he first moved here. And also there's a lot of conceptual portions of this artwork that talk about like just how he's merged that all together and became like how he's managed to identify himself as an Asian American growing up in South City. and being a contemporary artist. So that's this one. I kind of let him roll with this, and because I just felt like it was appropriate. It's fun. You know, it's a park, and it just looks right, and it's a real South City story. You know, so let's go to the next one.
Amir, may I just ask a quick question about that one?
Yeah, sure.
You were talking about kind of wrapping some of the basket weave patterns and whatnot. So do you think that in the final concept around this, there'll be some integration between this is a very different style, so just a little bit of.
It is. I think there's going to be a lot of. I think there's room for integration with certain ones. Like I think the next one I'm going to show you can definitely integrate into the other walls. And we're up to debate on this, but I do like there is a possibility for Jay to wrap around, but his style is like so different. I can really see it
in my head. I was thinking almost like there could be basket weaving kind of bordering.
Yeah, there
frame in his style.
It could be.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. I can see that, and actually I talked to him about it, and Jay is he's really particular about his work, and I could see his stuff wrapping into ours and ours wrapping into his, but I could also see there just being like a stark contrast on that wall, and maybe linking through color or something like that. But I also want to give, like, Jay is an alumni, and I've thought about this, like I would love to give him the opportunity, and just as someone that grew up in South City, to have like his own voice on that wall, and also create an opportunity for him to grow as an artist. And I know he's very particular about mixing with other styles of art. Whereas the next artist, Alejandro, he's actually one of my favorite living artists these days. This piece, he would have no problem with that at all. His work is very community driven. So just very different styles. So we can see on this wall, Alejandro, he did kind of like I always think about like, how can we put a rainbow on our artworks or on our murals? People love rainbows. Well, he made his own rainbow, and this is kind of like, it's kind of like a historical rainbow in a way. It's not a typical rainbow, and you can see every layer of color represents some type of history, just like layers of rock. It represents some layer of the history of South San Francisco. So we can see green, white, and red represent the Mexican flag and the Alta California. Blue, white, red represents the US and its intervention in Mexico. Orange represents the California poppy. So he has all these references, and he built this history, and you can see he actually painted Sign Hill up at the top. He has eucalyptus here, which he talks about how they're not native, but how they have become a part of our living. We see eucalyptus everywhere, right? And then he's even includes stuff about the tech companies. But what's important about this too is Alejandro. He's a queer Latino artist, and he immigrated here from Mexico, I believe when he was 12 or 13, and he had a whole immigration story here, and he has a very unique South San Francisco story, and you can see it, you can really see it in this work. So these are the four sides, and they're all very different conceptually, but they all represent like some kind of history with South San Francisco, like whether it be like, I like how it's like, we have the Latino, we have the Chumash. Alejandro's this full spectrum, and then we have like this contemporary artist also, who is just a product of South City in his own right. So I'm really excited about these, and I think any of these have some room to change. If you have questions or comments or think anything about them that you think might look better, I've kind of, I've put some of these onto, especially the Parkside one, like that image. I think it's really important to see that as you back away, like how it looks when you're street level, and then how it looks when you get close. And I really wanted to have text on that, because I could see that also being something where some people go up and take pictures in front of it. So, you start to you're starting to engage the community. It's not just a mural, it's like something where people can come take pictures. Like I can just see people vending out of this window, you know, can't you, like selling, like, you know, I'm not sure. I think they sell things for the games or something. Do they sell food out of this thing or out of this?
Yes, they do. That's correct. The baseball
Yeah,
team
so,
uses it to sell food.
like Alejandro, I know he's been inspired even by like taqueria paintings and things like that. And I just like, I think that the color, like I can just see people like vending out of that, taking pictures. So they've created these murals that like, you know, that kind of the community can kind of be involved. It's really an interesting, I think that's why this structure is just so interesting. It's like, it's not just a mural, it's like a living mural that people are going to be like walking in and out of, like the bathrooms, people are going to walk in and out of that. The mural, the park facing wall, people are going to take pictures in front of that for years to come. They're going to take picnics. It's going to have Alta Loma in the back. People are going to see the pictures and come to Alta Loma, you know what I mean? And then this one, they're going to take pictures of that vending window, and you know, Alejandro's mural is going to be in the back. It's really, really cool. So that's what I have for you all. And we did that in a really quick turnaround time. It was like, I think we did this like really quick. It seemed like a week or something like that. So I hope you all like it, but I'm here to answer any questions you might have about any section of the wall. And again, things are open for change, constructive criticism, anything like that. So.
Well, Amir, we absolutely appreciate the amount of thoughtfulness that's been put into this and effort, and very quick effort. As you mentioned, this has been a very fast turnaround, but I want to give a shout out to Aaron and the city staff for really being on the ball in terms of being able to help make this happen, and it's really exciting. So
I
thank you.
agree. Excuse me. I do have one question though.
Sure, right.
Has there been any outreach to like any Ohlone tribe about the graphics that are going up? Because I wouldn't want to like throw anything up there that is not maybe approved by them or they haven't seen. Like, you know, I don't want to not get us into trouble, but just not put anything up that is like representative.
I haven't contacted anyone from the tribe. It's something I can do in the meantime. I've actually thought about, there is like a poet and an artist. There's an artist that lives relatively close. I think we did pretty diligent research, and I think we stayed pretty, I don't know. I don't think we made anything really controversial. I did do a little research. I found some controversial murals that went up like in Oakland that included the Ohlone, but they were very, very like, it's like, I don't know, conquistadors like ripping their clothes or putting clothes on them, and like it was really, really gnarly, and those made the newspaper. I really doubt, just from my experience, I doubt that this would, and I don't think we are meaning any harm by it, but if we had more time, I would have loved to included like, or reached out to some of those artists to, you know, get advice, or maybe even include like a poem or a quote or something like that on the mural, which isn't to say we can't do it, but you know, I'm up, you know, it's up to you guys. I don't think we're going to be, I think we stayed pretty neutral. Like even the animals and the creation myth, like I don't think we're going to present that like as an Ohlone, like we're trying to represent their mythology. I think their mythology is also it just happens to also be grounded in native animals to the area. And that's kind of how I've presented it. Like we're going to be researching native animals and we're going to paint native animals. But it just happens that it is a double meaning. Like the animals were very important to the Ohlone tribes here, and they do show up in their mythology. So we're going to be respectful, but if you all want, I can reach out to them and see if we are doing anything like offensive. Who knows? Maybe we'll get one of them to come out and help us or something, you know?
For sure. I appreciate it. I just don't, if we are like using the name and that's what it's inspired by, I just want to make sure like there's a consideration there, but I don't think that you're being offensive. That's not like what I mean by it at all. But just kind of throwing the thought out there.
And I think it's a good thought, Ryan, and I think I can investigate that more. And we do, it's easy to say we're not going to get offended when we're not from that group, right? And we don't know because none of us are from that group. So I don't think it hurts to reach out. I actually have some friends that are Ohlone also that I could possibly reach out to. But we're coming with very good intentions here. So I don't suspect there to be a problem, but I think it's a good thing to think about, and I think we should reach out. Anyone else? Anything? Any other comments on any of the other walls, or?
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Sure.
I really like the art. I think it stands alone. It's beautiful, but I wonder if the city could provide some kind of plaque explaining the concepts. I mean, we know what it says because you told us, but some random person walking down the park would go, "Oh, that's beautiful," but they wouldn't understand the meaning behind it. But I don't know. That would be
No, that is a really great. I love that. That's a great comment.
I will say that staff have internally spoken about that same concept just because there's so many cool things that your class has keyed into that it would be nice to explain it. So, it's something we will explore for sure.
Okay, and I can think of a couple of things we could do to do that. We could either include something on the mural, or we could include some signage somewhere. And I might even be able to make that signage. It's not. I have like so many tools at Skyline College to make things. Like maybe there's a way we can make a sign or something that has some text content to explain these things to them and talks about the partnership. We talked about putting logos, like actually somewhere, like making a space for logos, like South City Skyline College, like logos somewhere on there. It could also be something digital that lives online, and maybe we archive that digital link on the Internet Archive, and we put a QR code somewhere on the mural where people can QR code and it pulls up the archived file it'll, if you archive something on archive.org, it'll live there forever. That would be a cool option. It wouldn't affect it visually too much, and it would pull just people. It would just pull it up on their phone. You know what I mean? So I could think of several ways to do it, and I could propose those ideas for you all and see if what you think. We could definitely, the QR code, easy, that can happen.
If I could say something, I think it's a really good opportunity to get connected with the Native and Indigenous Peoples Initiative. It's one of the initiatives that's through San Mateo County. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that they'd be willing to, partner up with this or even give us advice on what kind of images to put down, just to kind of check in since none of us are Ohlone people. So so it's the Native and Indigenous Peoples Initiative, and it's through the San Mateo County Health. Like I've worked with them a couple of times on some other stuff, and they're really easy to work with and contact, and they're very responsive. So
that sounds great. Crystal, would you mind? Do you have information on that? You could post in the chat or email me?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll post it in the chat.
Okay, cool. And then I'll get in contact with them.
Crystal, would you perhaps even be willing to make an introduction since you've worked with them? Like just introduce Amir. That always makes things a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely introduce them. I could definitely do that.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Cool.
So on behalf of the Urban Arts Subcommittee, again, thank you very, very much for a wonderful presentation. And I do want to check in with city staff, since this is not a budget item, which we're incredibly grateful for. Is this something that we will have an official vote, or because it has the support of the subcommittee, do we move forward? Could you just remind us?
Yeah, at this time, we're just looking for comments and feedback, so Amir and the class can proceed. So I think everyone had an opportunity to, and we appreciate your feedback. It sounds like Amir is going to take some of that, so I think we're all set. There's no vote or needed at this time.
Wonderful, and maybe we can work, you know, via the subcommittee around little questions like, well, not so little, whichever, around like the QR code and whatnot. So if we want to figure out final decisions around those, we can do that.
Yeah, and I think you know, to be honest, the QR code is the way we can present the most information about it. Because if you think about a web page, we could actually present all our research on there. So people could see like the whole process. It could actually be another project we do for the class too. Like we developed this web page around the mural that has all of our research information.
It's fantastic how much work you're willing to put into this. So thank you. Yes, and we'll work on it offline. So thank you.
Great, cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was like the snack shack when I was a kid. So I'm glad that there's going to be some cool art on there. I especially love the contemporary side. So awesome. Thank you for, you know, again, Risha said, like putting all this work forward, and thank you, Michael, for bringing Amir to us. Like this is so cool. Really appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to move on to our subcommittees. First up is strategic vision.
Okay, so last we had an update. The public art plan consultants have been notified, selected, notified by the city, and the city is currently working on the contract with them and presentation to council for approval. Erin, is there an update since then?
We have our meeting this coming week with them, but there's a correction. We won't be going to council for approval. It'll just be in a memo to council.
Awesome.
Anything else? Okay, cool. Nice. Thank you. Okay, sculpture up next.
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Urban art. I know that we just talked about urban art for a while, but Risha, do you have anything further?
We do have another update. Angela, would you be so kind as to pull up our little PDF cartoon update, which I will try to go through really quickly, but basically an update on the Prometheus mural restoration. And we received this delightful, or Erin, I don't actually see Angela on right now. Is somebody able to, maybe I can pull it up. I will pull it up.
Sorry, I'm just a bit slow here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hmm.
I've been having internet issues, so I wasn't sure what was good. Okay, there we go. So this is really cute, and I think this went out to everybody. But basically, this update on the Prometheus restoration from and Studio Eyes, and basically, you know, an update that you can see in that picture. It's probably pretty small on the screen, but that the damage was a little extensive and disappointing. The first cleanup took away a lot of the, like when you take that step back, a lot of the first part of the damage. As it says in the bottom, it looks good, but the work isn't finished. So the next page explains all of the next steps: the cleaning, the anti-graffiti coating, removing old caulk, touch up, whatnot. I just think this is super cute, so I wanted to share this with everybody. And then the next is just explaining that, you know, what's going on, and that there's going to be an update for staff around the logistics and this Excel sheet, and this cute little mural doctor sign off. So I wanted to share that.
That is awesome. Thank you. Super cool little zine. I love it. I'm a visual guy, so you know that's how I like to receive my information. I love it. Thank you. Next up is youth art program. So that is me. I have quite a bit to say on here. And I don't even say it. Ursi sends me updates. Who am I kidding? So this is what's going on. First up, youth art show. So the in-person event is happening on April 29th and 30th. The sign-up list is available for that for us as commissioners to receive art, hang art, work the show, docent. So that's going to be coming out to us after this meeting. This is something that as commissioners, we are expected to help out during shows when available. So if you are available at any of these times, please sign up. I know I'm going to help out as much as I can. So for the participants of the art show, the entry deadline the entry deadline is April 15th for those that are submitting online, and then the 22nd for those that are submitting in person. The show is open to any SSF USD student. And in addition to those students that are at all the grade levels, so kindergarten all the way through seniors in high school, the amazing childcare division of South San Francisco interacts with roughly 500 students, and they're working on some art to include in the project as well. So that's really, really exciting that we're getting hopefully so many entries. This year's art show also is going to have a poetry in residence contest. And that's in collaboration with a liaison from the library. So we had an opportunity to be a judge in that space, and Sarah is going to act as the judge and represent our commission in that space. That is what I have for the youth art show. So a couple more things to come is just a sign up, and then entries are going to be due next month. Moving on to the Youth Art Scholarship, promotion has gone out to all 3 of the South San Francisco Unified School District high schools, and their entry deadline is due on April 18th. So I don't know where our next meeting ends up, but we will most likely have something to report back towards May for that one. And then as a reminder, what we've done in the past is present those scholarships to the people in the high school. Ursi, I see that your hand just went up.
Yeah, just a couple of clarifications. Thank you, Ryan. So I'll start with the scholarship. Yes, the scholarships will, entries will come in, I believe the deadline, as you said, was the 18th. That's about that's the Monday before the commission meeting. So the subcommittee will be able to review the entries and make a recommendation to the full commission, so that the award ceremonies have generally been the second weekend of May or second week of May. So that would be enough time to have the representation happen for the awardees. And then with regards to the youth art show, just backing up a little bit more, we are requesting online submission for South San Francisco Unified School District students. We will then have those online submissions be delivered on the 22nd. And should there be anyone that wants to drop in from the South San Francisco School District, we will accept at that time as well. But we're really trying to encourage online entry. 2 reasons: to have some time to prepare, and in the worst case scenario that we have to go all virtual. Just wanted to make that clarification. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Appreciate all the work you do. We couldn't do it without you. So yeah, I don't pay attention to calendars, and we will be able to look at the scholarships before our next meeting, which is awesome. And as far as the fundraiser goes, there's some work going on in the back end. Sarah and Ursi are ironing out a lot of details. And other than that, there's no further updates. But again, next month, we should be able to share a little bit more. And that is what I have for youth art programs. Next up is performing arts. And I don't think, oh yeah, Paula Claudine is here. Sorry. Paula Claudine, performing arts.
How are you doing?
Good.
I am here, but there's no updates right now for the performing arts. So hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have something to share.
Fair enough. Thank you so much. And next up is Millie with community engagement.
Hi. So we had a chance to get together as a subcommittee, and we were coming off the strategic planning subcommittee's interview with the consultants, basically, and what the consultants were asking is basically was very appropriate to what we decided to do as a subcommittee in terms of engaging the community. So right now we're in this initial planning of collecting a database, making a database of all the nonprofits, academic institutions, anybody connected to art in any way, individuals. And we're just kind of building that database and making sure that we could get a full representation of the artists who are currently active in the South San Francisco area. And that's where we stand right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That concludes our subcommittee share outs. Next item on the agenda is items from commission. Do we have any items from commission?
Do you have a share? This year I'm taking part in the Women's View. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Women's View. It's put on by the San Mateo Arts Commission, and it hasn't happened in the past couple of years because of COVID, but they've kicked it off again this year, and it's from March 1st to April 29th. And it's an exhibit. I'm one of 70 artists that's showcasing their artwork. It's at the Caldwell and Community Galleries, which is at 400 County Center in Redwood City. So it's a great exhibit. They have exhibits throughout the year, but this is one of my favorite ones. It's Women's View, it's a women's perspective. It's something that is worth, taking a trip and going out to Redwood City and checking it out. Yep. So that's all I have to share.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other items from commission before we move on? Okay. Next up, items from staff. We have two things here: update to goals and committee listings, as well as upcoming events.
I can address the update related to the goals and committees. Just a note to take a look in your packet, because that listing has been updated to reflect all the art shows that will be upcoming this year, and the fundraiser. Again, everyone, all the commissioners, your participation as subcommittee members. And again, remember, if you choose to add yourself or want to remove yourself from any subcommittee, please feel free to either let us know here or contact Angela, Aaron, or I, and we can continue updating the document. But it's just take a glance at it to see what is going on that's new. And I don't know if Angela or Aaron have something else to add, but that's all.
I will go ahead and talk about an upcoming event on April 9th from about 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. We are going to be having our Easter Bunny photo hop. So basically it's going to be an egg hunt, and then kids will get to take a picture with the Easter Bunny. We're doing it in a similar fashion as last year, as where we're putting, people are pre-registering in like 15-minute time slots. So if you would like to go, please pre-register. Just send a message to Devin Stenhouse, who's our class supervisor, and then spread the word if you know anyone that would be interested. Again, it's April 9th from 8 to 12. And then it's over at the Orange Memorial Park soccer field, and people can just pre-register online or give a call to our office, and I'll answer and help them out. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Gabby. Oh, Angela, go for it.
Yes, and I'd like to remind the commission about the general plan community open house taking place next week on March 22nd at the Furnakeys building at Orange Park. The event is from 3 to 7 p.m. and this is a good opportunity for the commission to look out for art advocacy as far as it is represented in the general plan, and would also just be a good opportunity for the commission to get updated on what's in the plan as we prepare to move further into our own public art master plan. So there should be some linkage there that we'll be working on with our new consultants, and yeah, it's just a good opportunity to understand what the city has so far.
Will some of the results from that be posted somewhere, like, or is there another way to learn about? Unfortunately, that
I
it's
think
terrible for me, so I would love to kind of
hear
more about it. But
yeah, Greg, I don't know if you know, or Aaron, I haven't had time to dive into their website. I know the intent is to share a draft. I don't know if it's now or at some point soon that they'll be sharing more information, but their website does have that timeline there. So I can.
She's raised her hand.
Yeah, I raised my real hand. Yes, actually, it kind of delves into the next section, which is the correspondence. Risha, if you look at the first page of the correspondence, has actually the first 3 pages of your correspondence has the information on the SHAPE SSF,
okay. So
including all the
okay.
dates and study sessions. And it says here you can view the draft general plan, draft climate action plan, and mayor's introduction, and it gives you the website address. So feel free to check it out there.
Thank you, Ursi. And then I do have a note here about the Ruth Waters invitation. Were you going to touch on that?
Yeah, do you have it to show, to share, share and show?
Okay, we've got it.
So as Angela is pulling that together, I know our computers are running a little slow. Ruth Waters, for those that don't know, has been a vital artist in the Bay Area, especially the Peninsula. She was one of the founders of the Peninsula Arts Museum, which is in Tanfrin, that was mentioned at the last meeting. A special exhibition of her work is being presented in Redwood City, and we were sent a notice inviting anybody actually to the reception celebrating her work and through all these decades and years. So I just wanted to pass it on, and I can send it to you via email after the meeting, after this meeting.
I think that's it from staff.
I have one more thing, and actually, again, it kind of relates to this correspondence. If you look about the middle of your packet, related to the item that Paula Claudine mentioned, the Women's View group exhibit is actually, information is actually in your packet, your correspondence. So just to let you know that that resource is there if you wanted to check it out.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Lots going on in our correspondence this month. So check that out. That's the last thing that we have on our agenda. So unless there's anything else, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 7:28 p.m. Thank you, everybody. We're doing so much cool stuff in all of our different subcommittees. We're doing a lot of work that isn't shown in this meeting. So really appreciate all the hard work, and like, look at the art that's going up. It's showing. So great job. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Thanks, Ryan.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.